Alright guys, Dokkan time, and today we're going to do a how-to build for the physical Gotenks. I am super late on the banner units, I apologize. But let's just kind of drop in, get to it. On the right side, you'll see that I have the 55% suggestion and the 2 dupe and above suggestion. I don't think he's bad at 55%. I think 55% he's pretty good. You know, obviously he's not as good, but he's still very good. So let's look at his 200% leads. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So unfortunately, he only has 2 200% leads in the entire game right now. Very unfortunate because JP has Topo, which is a very good special pose team, and this guy would fit right on special pose. Unfortunately, he is only 170 on that team, so his stats will be dramatically lower. The good news is, I mean, obviously Special Pose has, like, Ginyu for off-turn support, which can really buff him up. It's just he'll never be, quote-unquote, at his peak, sadly. So, go ahead and move on. So his ideal team is Super Saiyan 3 Goku, obviously. As long as you're fine with 200, only throwing him on a 200%. You know, some people are still fine with 170, and that's great. 170 still is manageable. It's still good. In my opinion, though, we're slowly getting into a point where 170 is starting to become not an optional thing for some units. I don't know if Gotenks really fits that bill. I think he still could be fine on 170, but 200 is always preferred. He massively raises attack and defense on Super. Has a 100% boost to his attack and defense every time he super attacks. Attack and defense 177 and a 70% chance of key plus 7. Very weird. Very weird. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 77% when forming a super. So many 7s in this guy's passive. Launch an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super. And then a 70% chance of evading enemy's attack for 7 turns on the character's entry turn. And then it's 50% chance of evasion after the 8th turn. He does have plus an additional attack and defense plus 77 as the 2nd or 3rd attacker in a turn, so preferably put him in slot 2 or 3. And then plus an additional attack and defense plus 20 up to 77 with each attack evaded. So he needs to dodge a total of 4 times in order to have his full build-up with that. And then he has chance of performing a crit plus 20% up to 77 with each super attack performed. So you'll have to perform 4 supers in order to actually get to that point. So with all that in mind, I mean, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. The biggest weakness, obviously, is his team. Like, he's stuck to Super Saiyan 3 Goku's team, which is fine. That's obviously an ideal team as well. It's just, you know, if I was a JP player, I'd be kind of annoyed that he's not on Topo's 200. I would be kind of annoyed. But, what are his ideal link partners? Does he have... He doesn't really have ideal link partners, does he? I mean, obviously, Gotenks, Over in the Flash, Innocence, Fused Fighters, Fierce Battle. I don't think he's ever going to have all of his links ever going off, is he? Yeah, no. Even with the freaking SSR of adult Xeno Gotenks right here. Even then, that's only 1 extra link, really. So, yeah, he doesn't really have a preferred link partner. Obviously, all of the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks are the best options. Pretty much his only options, I would dare say. If we do get a Super EZA for this Ultimate Gohan, this would actually not be a terrible choice here. I mean, Gotenks is pretty good. He could be a dodge tank. Maybe. Maybe he could be a dodge tank. It really depends on how the Super EZA would be. This is something to keep in mind here, though, because that's a key 3 support. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah, he's got some options. Not a whole bunch of options here. But yeah, I like him. I like him. Let's go take a look at his stats. So on Halvard's side, you know, he's got the slot 2 or 3 without build-up. If he double supers, he's only got 1,000,000 defense. But after he gets his full build-up on double super, he'll be at 1.4. This is with rainbow stats and with having all of his links going off. Or not even all of his links, it's only 4. But it's the important links of Saiyan Lineage and Shocking Speed that apparently he shares with LR Goku and Vegeta. So that's good. I don't think you're really going to see 40% support here. I don't think you'll see 40% support for Gotenks for a hot minute, at least not on Majin Buu Saga team. It'd be kind of finicky with that kind of support, but I would say if you only have him at 55% on a double super, he'd probably be ranging somewhere around 1 mil defense. Probably somewhere around 1 mil on a double super. And then if you triple supered on a 55%, very unlikely, but if you triple supered on a 55% version of him, he'll probably range around his double super portion. Maybe a little higher, maybe somewhere in a weird middle ground zone of like 15 or 16, 1.6, maybe 1.5. That's probably where I would range a 55% triple super. Not bad for a freaking banner unit. Let's go ahead and look over here at Rocket Lizards here. So his damage can get very good. I don't think his damage will be very crazy at 55, but at 100% triple super, 10 mil, he's critting pretty much a majority of the time. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty freaking good, I would say. Though I do and don't like the fact that he just made this, because, like I said, he's not 200% on Topo's team, so I really hope that this is measured at 170, because if this is measured at 200, you're going to have to drop these stats quite a bit. I would argue to say you'd have to drop them down to these. The 70%, the 170s, you gotta remember, the way it technically works is that when you're on a 170, you're missing out on 60% support because it's 30% from both leaders. So you're missing out on 60% support, technically, in total. It's quite a bit. So you can't just simply buff that up. So I think this is either lower. This would actually be a lower percentage, or this is like the most ideal 100% that he could potentially ever get in the game. If one day we get another special pose-esque team that Gotenks can be 200% on, maybe this is what his full potential could be. I'm not sure. But Ginyu has to be on a full special pose. He has to be. Ginyu has to be full special pose. So. Very good numbers. 3 supers, 2.4 mil. Yeah. On defense. 3 supers, hitting 13 mil with pretty much guaranteed, almost. It's not guaranteed crits, but more than likely you're critting. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a very good banner unit. I would just say if you have 55% copy, just go for more additional. The additional won't help, or it won't hurt him at all. He's already got 70% chance to dodge. Supering just builds up his crit chance. So I mean that helps. And then when you go into his dupe paths, I would just kind of suggest going into dodge and then putting the rest into additional. You could kind of go vice versa on that. You could go more additional instead of the dodge and go for that raw defense. I would also say that is an option that I would probably more prefer to go towards. It just really depends on how much harder the fights get in the game. I'm trying to like future-proof him. You know, future-proofing, I would say dodge is the preferred way to go. But as of right now, you could arguably go ahead and just swap those and just go for a full additional build instead, and then just put the rest into dodge, and I think that would be fine. But there's no reason to put crit into him. There's no reason to put crit. Crit is pointless for this guy. So yeah. Let me know how you guys decided to build this guy, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.